It's July 2020 in Washington, D.C., and I'm sitting alone in my apartment with no furniture, no TV, no work, in the middle of the pandemic. All my furniture has been shipped into a storage facility, just waiting to be shipped to Toronto, Canada, where I'm supposed to move eventually. My US work permit has expired, so I can't even work in the country. I'm really just waiting to go to Canada so I can resume my work again. All international flights are cancelled, so I can't even go anywhere. I can't go back home to India, and that's also kind of why I'm stuck here, unable to go to Canada. So I find myself just sitting on this beige carpeted floor of my apartment, surrounded by 4 white walls, with no obligations and no way to really spend my time. There's nothing really, no work, no entertainment, to really distract myself from this ever-present gnawing at the back of my head that I've had ever since I graduated from college. This irritation, this feeling of emptiness, this void that I'd kind of almost resigned myself and had almost begun to accept, to just somehow tolerate and live with. So far, I'd actually done a pretty good job at distracting myself from it through work, friends, partying, and just busyness in general. But now that I had no option but to confront it, interestingly, confronting the void didn't actually consume me. Having no distractions around me to kind of distract myself with actually kind of felt this space open up, both mentally and physically. After a very long time, I actually kind of felt this almost momentary pause in my life, and I felt like a kid who was given this box of crayons and this unending canvas on which to just draw whatever I felt like, whatever my imagination asked me to do or compelled me to do, with no kind of distractions and no kind of voices to listen to. Voices from work, from family, from friends, nothing. Just really just listening to myself. To basically just run with it, to create anything that I wanted to, anything that kind of inspired me. Nothing that was simply just supposed to be good for me, and not what friends or family would think would be a good way to spend my time, a reputable way to spend my time. So far, if I can say so myself, I have been impeccable at showing up for others. In fact, if I ever make a promise to somebody for some kind of deliverable or my presence or anything of that nature, I will bend over backwards to show up for them. It's actually something I'm kind of proud of. It's a Friday night in December 2018. I've had a very long day of work and I finally get home at around 7 p.m. Prior to this, for the past couple of weeks, from Monday through Thursdays, I was basically working from 8 a.m. to like 9:30 or 10 p.m. This Friday, I was just done. I was fried. Just wanted to have one night where I could just relax, and 2 minutes into walking into my apartment, my button-down shirt and my pants were on the floor, and I was basically in my joggers and my most comfy sweatshirt, and I was sinking into my leather couch minute by minute. And just then, in about an hour, a calendar notification just pops up on my phone that, hey, you have a party to be at 9 p.m, so you better show up. And somehow, without even thinking twice, I launch myself off the couch. I'm washing my face with cold water. I run downstairs and buy a cold brew. I run back up to my apartment. I chug half the cold brew. I'm then putting on my dress clothes and I'm out the door and I'm speed walking to this party. Why? Because I promised my friend I'd be there, and I would hate it if somebody canceled on me last minute. So I can't do that to somebody else. I like being that reliable friend. The summer of 2014, I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, tasked with making 3 music videos for 3 Scottish bands, having never touched a camera, a professional camera, before. Prior to this, I was probably just clicking pictures on my iPhone and publishing them on Instagram after putting 10 filters. In 10 weeks, I just pick up everything I could, learn as much as I could about cinematography, go and scout locations, deal with talent, actually use the most technical camera equipment we were given, and just go ahead and do this. By the end of that summer, I actually did end up releasing those 3 music videos for those 3 Scottish bands. And finally, let's just fast forward again to 2017 in my professional life as a consultant. It's something I always wanted to do, and I've actually really enjoyed it. But part of the job is literally always being tasked with some new kind of work, a new kind of project, a new kind of problem that you've never encountered before. And it's the nature of the beast that you just kind of have to like pick it up quickly, learn it quickly, and then go and present it and be the expert at that thing. I don't think twice about it. I simply don't have a choice but to just go ahead and do the work that's expected of me. I don't have a choice here. It's literally what I signed up for. There's no room, literally no time to be spending questioning yourself or wondering if you can do it or having some kind of worry about yourself, because all that precious time is wasted time. You just have to buckle up and go and do the work. You have to just show up. reflecting on these instances in my life, I realized that anytime anything is ever expected of me, it doesn't matter if I don't know how to do it, if I'm just kind of feeling out of it, I'm just feeling very lazy and I don't really want to go or do something, it doesn't matter. I'll still just somehow end up showing up. I'll be there. But somehow, anytime it's something I want to do purely for myself and I kind of feel a little bit out of it, I'm not in the mood, I just don't think I'm cut out for it, I find it so easy to just kind of push it off to never. I realized that the reason why I'm so successful at the other things that I just spoke about, whether it's a party for a friend that I have to go to and being that reliable friend, or it's making music videos having never touched a camera before, or literally day to day in my work life, working as a consultant, dealing with new kinds of problems. It doesn't matter if I don't have the technical know-how, it doesn't matter if I kind of feel out of it. I just have to show up and do it. And because I show up, literally everybody in my life is generally happy with me, or at least I think so. But the reason why I was feeling this emptiness and this void inside myself was because I was not showing up for myself. And so at some point, subconsciously, I wasn't happy with myself. I was disappointed with myself because I wasn't showing up for myself. Stuck in my apartment surrounded by those 4 white walls, sitting on that beige carpet, I suddenly have nobody calling for my time or my attention but me. I somehow can no longer push off or distract myself from just showing up for myself and listening to myself. And suddenly, even though I'm more physically stuck and static than I've ever been before, and the world is generally on pause, my personal universe and possibilities just kind of expand right before my eyes. Every single day, because I have nothing else to distract myself with, I'm literally just listening to myself. I'm working on my self-reflections, on my writing, on my storytelling, on filming, on editing, with whatever material and technology I have on hand, which is basically my phone and my MacBook from 2013. I taste this joy and excitement that's so deeply internal that I've never quite really tasted before. Or actually, it was a similar taste I had when I used to kind of take my religion and philosophy classes back at Dartmouth, because those were classes I purely took for myself. Because if I told anybody else I was taking these non-STEM classes, they would probably scoff at me and be like, oh wow, you're wasting time, money, and credit. But I always just had to do it because I found that so fulfilling to my personal interests. And now taking those examples of like showing up for other people, I realized that really, even for internal personal projects, showing up is really more than half the battle. I've seen in my life that when I put effort into something, things happen. Previously, I'd found it too easy to get impatient with myself and kind of deprioritize tasks that were purely for me, and I wouldn't show up for myself. But now that I know what it feels like to show up and do the things that you really want to do, that you really feel inside of you, no longer showing up for myself is simply just not an option. I now see it as equivalent to sort of scheduling a meeting with my teammates, but letting them know, hey, you know what? From once in a while, I just won't show up, and I also won't tell you when that's gonna happen. So you just have to kind of deal with it. No, I would never do that. And my teammates would probably find somebody else for the job who'd be much better at the job at that point. Imagine telling somebody who relies on you every day, from time to time, they're just gonna, not show up. And you won't tell them why, and you'll tell them that maybe you'll just show up tomorrow, but also maybe not. When I wasn't showing up for myself, that's literally what I was doing to myself. I was betraying myself. And now one more thing, because this showing up for yourself thing also kind of plays into the fact that I also haven't made a video in the past while, taken a break for longer than I've ever done before, and I really missed it. And that's mostly because my hair has been a complete mess with this lockdown. It's overgrown, it's unruly, it's unmanageable, and I kind of just didn't want to make a video with me looking like this with this hair. I was still kind of showing up for myself. I was still like writing my scripts. I was still thinking about all these things. My self-reflection didn't stop, but I kind of just stopped filming these videos. And I realized that that was actually affecting my mood because, again, I was disappointing myself. I like doing this so much, and something like my hair was kind of just like stopping me from publishing and kind of making these videos that I really enjoy doing. And so I'm kind of back at it, and hopefully I can get a haircut sometime soon. Hopefully Toronto will lift its lockdown sometime soon where it makes sense from a public health point of view, but this is not gonna stop me. I wanted to also make this video because this was something so simple that I had to do for myself, but I didn't realize until literally I had no furniture, no work, and no social engagements to go to, that really why I was feeling that emptiness, that void, was because I just wasn't listening to myself and showing up for myself. And so I don't know, I kind of want to tell everybody basically who kind of feels that similar kind of emptiness, who could relate to that feeling of a void, that you don't have to kind of resign yourself to living with it as I almost did. You kind of just have to take a minute or maybe a week, I don't know, but tune all the other voices out and just really look inward and think about what it is that you just want to do. And just try your hand at it and show up for it every day and just see where that takes you and how you feel when you do it. Now, there's one thing I want to add to this as a caveat, that by showing up for yourself, I'm not kind of advocating this kind of hustle culture and 100% productivity thing. And no just busyness for the sake of being busy. In fact, if you've seen any of my other videos, you're probably well aware of my position on that. And if not, I'm gonna link a video up there that talks about unconditional happiness versus this unrelenting productivity that keeps getting pushed to us on a lot of media, including YouTube. When I talk about showing up for yourself, it's much broader than that. Showing up for yourself also means having a lot of compassion for yourself. It also means taking days of rest and relaxation and just days to heal, recuperate. All I'm getting at is to not let those things that you think might fulfill you, that you might enjoy, to slip away, to not give time to those things. Only because nobody else outside of you is holding you accountable for it. Treat promises to yourself in just as high regard as you treat promises you make to other people, to your day job, to people who you care about and who you love. Alright, well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you got something cool out of it, and if there's somebody you think might like the video, then share this video with them. Hit the like button because that's super encouraging to me, and subscribe to my channel if you want more similar content. I'll see you all next time.